Ah, so hello, my friends. Welcome to your short 30-minute-ish sequence 2 practice today. My name is Ishvari, and I'm very, very grateful to have the honor of guiding you through this powerful practice. And as we move into this practice, it is my intention to empower you to make choices for your own body, for your own practice that are uniquely nourishing to you. Everything I say is just a suggestion, and please know you can modify any pose or omit any pose that is not serving your practice. We can begin sitting in a comfortable position on the earth or in a chair if that's preferable to you. I have 2 blocks and a bolster with me today. I may or may not use all of them, but maybe grabbing a couple props for yourself for this practice. And when you're ready, grounding down into a comfortable position, a position in which the spine can be long, the chest can be open, the shoulder blades can be dropped down the back, and the jaw can be relaxed. We'll take 4 deep breaths here, the deepest breaths you've taken today, and we'll exhale to a sigh out the mouth, releasing any tension. Inhaling deeply. 3 more like this, creating any sound that your body needs. One more deep breath. Finding stillness in the body for a moment and connecting to the natural rhythm of the breath. Observing the breath with a tender curiosity. We're not asking it to change or to deepen or to slow, we're just observing. And when we bring our focus to the felt sense of the breath in the body, this can be a tool to collect our being, our mind, our heart, our body, all into one space, into this moment. Staying with that tender curiosity, that observation of the breath. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice today, you can do so now. Allowing something to spontaneously arise in your mind or in your heart. What do you want to devote the energy of this practice to today? And when you've landed on something, affirming it to yourself 3 times internally. And as we move through this practice, we will experience a lot of stillness in the body. This is not a dynamic, this is not a sweaty practice. This is not a dynamic practice. And I want to encourage all of us to come into that appreciation of the simplicity of stillness. Too often we take peace and calm for granted. As we move through this practice, keeping that in the center, keeping peace, stillness, clarity, calmness, placing this at the center of your altar, or whatever intention feels right for you today. On an inhale, let's find lots of length in the spine, bringing the crown of the head towards the sky, finding a little bit more space between each vertebrae of the spine. And then on your next exhale, drop the chin towards the chest. Begin to warm up the neck. On an inhale, rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling the left ear towards the left shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Continuing like this at your own pace, and I encourage you to hang out anywhere that feels sticky or that's requiring your attention, allowing this movement to be explorative and nourishing. And on your next exhale, bringing the chin back to center. And on an inhale, reaching the head back up. Good. We'll move into the first posture of this practice, into our seated forward fold. So bringing the legs out long against the earth. If you have really tender or sore knees, a bolster or a blanket underneath the knees can be supportive here. For me, my legs on the earth feels fine today. And you can walk out the flesh underneath your sit bones so you can really root down on the earth. And we'll take an inhale here to go long through the spine. On the exhale, we'll bring the chest towards the thighs, walking the hands down the legs or down the mat. And dropping the head. We'll engage our caterpillar breath here for a few breaths, inhaling to find lots of length in the spine. Exhaling, bringing the chest a little bit closer to the thighs, following this rhythm. Inhaling, finding length through the spine. Exhaling, chest to thighs. Be aware of any strain you might be creating in your neck here. We're activating in this posture Muladhara chakra, the home of stability and security, the home of patience and groundedness. Dropping the caterpillar breath now and just allowing the spine to curve. The top of the head can be heavy towards the earth. Connecting with this stable, secure energy of Muladhara, related to our vitality, our physical health. And if it's supportive to you, you can imagine collecting this supportive, secure, grounded energy up from the earth into Muladhara chakra, which is located at the perineum. Staying with that curious, tender observation of the breath. And on an inhale, we'll find length through the spine again. You can walk the hands back up the legs or up the mat, bringing the spine upright. And we'll just take a moment here to perceive any subtle changes. Perceiving any aspect of Muladhara that feels real, that feels real to us. Staying with that tender curiosity. And when you're ready, we can cross the legs, rock over the knees, and come into tabletop. If that transition doesn't feel good, simply swinging the legs around, finding your way into tabletop. Here, wrists are stacked under elbows, stacked under shoulders, knees are stacked directly under hips. On an inhale, we'll tilt the tailbone up to the sky, drop the belly to the earth, open up the chest, lifting up the chin, coming into cow. Exhaling, tilting the tailbone towards the earth, arching the spine, dropping the head, coming into cat. And then following your own breath, moving between these two postures. Here we're embracing the element of water in Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana is the home of our social nature, of our creativity, of our sexuality. And when we do postures for Swadhisthana, we bring all of these elements into balance, following your own breath and allowing the movement to become a bit more creative, breaking out of the shape of the cat and cow and following what your body's asking for, stretching the spine in any way that feels good. Staying with that tender curiosity. A few more breaths with this movement, stretching out the body in any way it's asking for here. Embracing the elements of water. And coming back to neutral. From here you can sit back on your heels. We won't be here long, but you can always place a bolster or a block in between your heels and your hips if that feels good. We'll take a couple breaths here, feeling any changes in the body, reflecting on what feels concrete and real to you about Swadhisthana chakra. And of course, from Swadhisthana, we move up into Manipura, from the water element to the fire, rising up on the knees. You can place a blanket under your knees here if that feels good, more supportive for the knees. And for Manipura chakra, we're activating the core strongly. So we're moving into a variation of camel pose. So I like to place my hands on my lower back, and we're just bringing the body back enough that we feel an activation in the core. We feel a fire lit up in the belly. So you might feel a little shake in the belly, in the core. And for some of us, we have a lot of mobility in the back. So coming into full camel, if that's in your practice, and only if you can still activate the core in full camel. And I'm just floating in and out of the posture here, finding a point that feels steady, that feels fiery, and then I'm bringing the hands to the belly button, to the navel, to the location of Manipura. And we'll breathe here together for a few breaths in whatever position that you can activate the core strongly in. Manipura, the energy of courage, of strength, of discipline and dedication. And when we practice Manipura postures, we bring this energy into balance. Breathing into the core, firing up this aspect of ourselves. Holding here for 3 more breaths. On your 3rd breath, rising back up, feeling any fire you created in the belly. And we'll bring this all into another Manipura posture, coming into downward dog, placing the hands on the earth in front of you, engaging Hasta Bandha, rooting down under the 4 corners of the hand. Towards the sky, walking out the heels here for a moment. And then finding stability. Breathing into Manipura chakra, engaging the core slightly here.
And we'll hold this for a little while just to build a bit more fire. And you can imagine that you're creating this fire, you're creating this fire and sending out this courageous, dedicated, strong energy to the places in your life that we need it, that you need it. We all need a little bit more strength in all of our lives in some way. And on your next inhale, you can lift the right foot off the earth just slightly. And bringing the gaze in between the hands, we'll bend that right leg and bring the right knee to the right wrist. We're coming into pigeon pose here. So my right shin is as parallel as possible to the short side of my mat. For me, I need some support here. Most of us do. So I'm placing a bolster underneath my hips. A block also works. A pillow or a blanket also works. Coming into pigeon. Option here to stay with the upper body erect, or coming onto the forearms, or bringing the heads right onto the earth, activating the heart chakra, Anahata chakra. So we cultivated a little bit of fire in Manipura, and then fire naturally wants to flow upwards, wants to become air, moving into the air element of Anahata. And the heart, of course, is the home of love, of unconditional, unbound love. Which shows up in our lives as compassion, forgiveness, generosity. Staying with the tender curiosity here. And in the same way we cultivated this fire and sent it out in Manipura, here we can cultivate this love, this ability to give and receive love, and send it out to the places in our life where we need it most. Holding here for 3 more breaths. And inhale, you can return the body upright. Option to place the hands on the earth and move back through downward dog, or swing the left leg around and the right leg back, coming into pigeon on the other side. Taking whatever other variation you did on the opposite side, you might notice you need more or less support here. The hips are likely different from one side to another. And landing in the posture.
settling into this energy of compassion and offering compassion to ourselves in our practice too. And I have a theory that when we receive compassion, whether from ourselves or from others, it feels like freedom. So offering yourself the compassion, the freedom to be in your practice, to be in your body, to be in your life exactly the way you are. Without judgment or envy or longing to change. Staying with the tender curiosity of the breath. We'll hold here for a few more breaths together. And wherever you are on an inhale, returning the body, the upper body to an upright position. And we'll meet in a seated posture by bringing that right leg, bending the right leg, bringing it around to the front. And we'll move into a position on our backs. We'll take plow pose before we do our final shavasana, so don't get too comfortable just yet. Coming to lie on the back. And if you're not familiar with this one, you can watch me first. Inhaling, bringing the feet up towards the sky. We're going to place a lot of support on the lower back. On an exhale, rocking the hips above the head, bringing the feet to the earth or to a block or bolster or chair behind you. Lots of support on the lower back. So because we're taking a shorter class today, we're going to skip Vishuddha chakra, the throat chakra, and work directly with Ajna, with the third eye chakra, located between the eyebrows. We're cultivating clarity and focus here. Breathing deeply. If it feels supportive to you, you can place your attention in the center of the forehead on Ajna chakra. Cultivating clarity here and sending it out to the places in our life where we need it the most.
And we'll come out of this posture with lots of support on the lower back, bending the legs, and slowly, slowly, slowly lowering the spine one vertebrae at a time back to the earth. You can squeeze your legs into your chest for a moment. And then when you're ready, finding your final Shavasana. Allowing the arms to be a little far away from the body and the feet far apart from each other. You can always pop a bolster underneath the knees or underneath the spine if that feels good. And a blanket over the body is always nice. Staying with that tender curiosity, that devotion to witness the breath, to witness the mind, the body. And Shavasana is not just a restful posture. In this posture, we are integrating all of the experiences, the lessons, the energetic shifts even that have happened in our practice, and we're integrating it into our mind, our body, and our heart. Allowing rest to happen. Allowing integration to happen. You are invited to stay in Shavasana as long as you like, to continue to rest, and whenever you're ready, you can bring a little bit of movement into the fingers and into the toes.
And roll onto one side of the body, whichever feels more comfortable. And if you want to stay in Shavasana longer, you can always hit pause on this video and close with me when you're ready. And finding your way into a seated posture whenever feels right for you. And we'll close our practice by bringing both hands into prayer, into the heart, into the body, in any way that allows you to feel connected. Offering gratitude to every teacher, yogi, master, saint, ancestor, friend and family member who has guided us to this moment. We humbly offer any fruits of this practice to be dedicated to the liberation, happiness, and fulfillment of all beings everywhere. And I offer gratitude to you for joining me in this practice today, for making the choice to step into practice, to move towards peace. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.